Okay, volume 5. That's where I'm at in the book Bible Story. Yeah, it's got the jacket on it and everything. My 70-year-old books. Okay, and we are at, in here, part 4, story 5, visitors from Babylon. But we're not going to be talking about him yet. If you're thinking about Nebuchadnezzar, not yet. Okay. Ooh, sorry. Ooh, that's weird. Okay. How did the Sundial Miracle happen? Nobody knows, but it must have happened, for it was noticed at the same time as all the sundials in Babylon, hundreds of miles away. And of course, it must have been noticed on every other sundial around the world. Everywhere people wondered what it meant. Yeah, and it's one of the numbers that they were looking for in when they shot the rocket off to hit the moon. That's one of them. Okay, but let me digress. As for Hezekiah, he got better, just as Isaiah had said. Within 3 days, he was back at work, as healthy as ever. Then it was that he wrote these words: Behold, for peace I had great bitterness, but thou hast in love to my soul delivered it from the pit of corruption. For thou hast cast all my sins behind thy back. For the grave cannot praise thee, death cannot celebrate thee. They they that go down to the pit cannot hope for thy truth. The living, he shall praise thee, as I do this day. And we turn the page, and it says, okay, some weeks later, important visitors arrived in Jerusalem. They were ambassadors from Babylon, with letters and presents from King Microdoc Baladan. That's what his name. So it's Mero Doc Dach, and then Bala Baladan, Baladan, to congratulate Hezekiah on his recovery. They had also come to inquire of the wonder that had been done in the land, about which everybody was talking. Hezekiah was delighted. Indeed, well, excuse me for a second. Indeed, it was. It must have been very comforting to him just then to find that he had a new had a few new have a few friends left. When Jerusalem, the only city in all of Palestine standing out against the war against the power of the Assyrians, he must sometimes have felt very, very lonesome. So he gave the Babylonian ambassadors a great welcome. Gladly he told them how the shadow had moved back on his sundial, and how it had been a sign that he would recover from his illness and live another 15 years. Then with no little pride, he showed them his secret vaults, the house of his the house of his precious things, the silver and the gold, and the spices, and the precious ointment, and all the house of his armor, and all that was found in his treasures. What the ambassadors thought of that, it was not told. No doubt they made a mental note of everything, in case it might come in handy sometime. They knew their royal master, the Babylonian king, would certainly be interested to learn where a nice little store of gold and silver could be found when needed. At last the ambassadors took their leave with many kind words and good wishes from Hezekiah and the people of Jerusalem. Hardly had they disappeared down the hill, however, then Isaiah turned up at the royal palace. He wanted to know all about the visitors and what they said. "Oh," said Hezekiah, still very happy at what had happened, "they came from a far country, even from Babylon." "What have they seen in thine house?" was the next question. "Everything," said Hezekiah gaily, and it's spelled Gaily. No doubt. So it's like the wind. But never mind. Gaily. No doubt thinking Isaiah would be pleased with the courtesy he had shown his guest. But the prophet was not pleased. Hezekiah had made a mistake. He should have not paraded his wealth before these strangers. And then it has a picture of Hezekiah showing one of his treasures room. And the two are like shocked eyeballs popping out of their head. And he's like, hello. See, here's my stuff. Okay. Okay, and here's what Isaiah said. "Hear the words of the Lord of hosts," said Isaiah. "Behold, the days come, that all that is in thine house, and that which thy father had laid up in store until this day, shall be carried to Babylon. Nothing shall be left, saith the Lord." The king was shocked. He had never thought of this. Of course, he should have been more careful. Now it was too late. These two men had seen everything, and they would tell about it. His best kept secret would be known not only in would okay. His best kept secrets would be known not only in Babylon, but maybe in Nineveh too. How foolish he had been. How careful we should be in every word and action. One thoughtless deed, prompted by pride or vainglory, can bring such unhappy consequences. Wise indeed are they who show wise indeed are they who show their visitors not the treasures of their homes, but the riches of God's love towards them. Then it has a picture of Isaiah pointing and the king kind of sad. And there's the illustration. Okay, and that is the end of part 4, story 5. And like always, it's the break. So we're going to break and we're going to go and I'm going to take a break. See you in a bit.